Hey, it's Evie, welcome to my channel. Today's video is a requested video and it's about obsessive thoughts. If you are obsessively thinking about something, probably you're a specific person that you want to bring into your life and you can't really allow it to happen because you are constantly thinking about it, so you're constantly doing whatever it is you do, affirming, visualizing, thinking about that person and thinking about conversations you're going to have with that person. All of that stuff is in your head all of the time and you can't really move past it in order to allow that person back into your life, because essentially what you are doing is blocking it. I'm not an expert on how this works, but I know that that is what's happening here. So you are blocking that manifestation, blocking that person from coming to you because you have a barrier up. All of this stuff is causing a barrier and not allowing that person to come to you, and it's called attachment. And as I've said before, attachment, it sends out, this is the best way for me to explain it. I don't know if this is what's happening, but it appears to be that when we are incredibly attached to something, our desire for them, for that person, is mixed with our vibration of attachment, and that does not give any sort of pure frequency to whatever this is, to the universe. You're sending your frequency off and it's all messed up, and so you just don't get, because it can't be read. It's not pure, it's mixed up with all of those attachment feelings. Now, first off, what you have to do here, and this is quite hard to do, I have to say, it does take some self-discipline. If you have decided that enough is enough, you are just feeling rubbish and you can't stand this anymore, the first decision you have to make is that you are going to deal with it. You are going to deal with this attachment, deal with these obsessive thoughts, and it's not, you don't want it anymore. So you have to get straight in your head that you don't want that anymore. It's not that you don't want that person anymore, it's that you don't want to be dealing with it in this way. You want to be able to allow that person to come back to you, but at the same time you need to move past this stage. Before I go on, let me just tell you that although I am a law of attraction coach, I'm also a life coach, qualified life coach. So a lot of my advice is practical too. It's not just based around the law of attraction, because if I can see that somebody is struggling, then I might give them some practical advice that doesn't really require them trying to manifest something, because I want them to get better. I want everybody to feel better, to feel good. I don't want anyone to feel rubbish. And I can combine it both. It combines successfully. I want people to feel better, to feel good, and to feel empowered and feel that they are number one in their own reality. So that's what this is all about, because this is your reality. And whilst you are clinging on to that person, what you are actually doing is you have them in a stranglehold. You have the whole situation in a stranglehold, and it can't, a vice-like grip. And what can you do with that? What can anybody do with that? Nothing. It's a trapped manifestation. Think of it like that. You have trapped it. You've created what you want. You've already created it. I guarantee you that all of you guys that have done the visualization, affirmations, whatever it is that you feel good doing, have done it. It's all you need to do. You don't need to do anything else. But the thing is, our rational brain thinks that we do. It just thinks that if we stop, we won't get. But the thing is, some of you guys have been doing this for a long time. If it hasn't happened now, it's not going to happen whilst you're in this sort of cycle of obsessing. And the thing is, you do also, as I've said before, get obsessed with manifesting them. So sometimes you're not so much obsessed with, if you actually sat down and thought about it, you may not be that obsessed with them particularly, more obsessed with the situation and manifesting them because you feel that other people are doing it and why can't you do it and all of that stuff, more so than manifesting them back or having them in your life. So firstly, what you need to do is accept the fact that it's gone too far like this and you don't want it anymore. Okay, that's your first point. And that's a tick point, because that's brilliant. When you accept that and then you decide that you're going to deal with that, it all starts getting better. It really does. Believe me, it's all about making that decision, that key decision. Because do you want to go on like this? It's no fun, is it? It really isn't any fun, and you're missing out on all of the other great things that life has to offer, because all you're thinking about is this person. It's all you want. It's all important. It doesn't even matter whatever else is going on in the world. This is more important to you, and it shouldn't be. And people are important, of course they are. It is important that we love people and we're loved by people. I'm not saying that that's not important, but what is important is that you understand that you are a priority, because this is your reality. And if you give away your power like that, then you're not making yourself a priority. You're saying that they are the priority in your reality, and they are not. And once you realise that you are the priority, then they come back because you've put in all of the work. Of course they're going to come back. There's no way they ain't going to come back. They are. It just is the way things happen. I don't know why. As I've said before, I have no idea really what's going on here. I have my own version of events, but they're probably not right, but that's what I like to work with. So there are several ways that you can do this. First of all, it's the decision, and then the key thing is you are still going to think about them. You are still going to get these obsessive thoughts. They don't stop just like that, even though you intend them to, because your rational brain will still override your intention all of the time. It will keep trying to override it. So you will think about them. Now, first thing is accept that you're going to think about them, okay? Just accept that, and then don't get frustrated with yourself that those thoughts are still there, because you can't really, it's very difficult to control that. And if you try and control that, it can lead to more resistance. So just accept it, first of all. Accept they're going to be there. And when those thoughts pop in, instead of engaging with them, which you will have been doing at every single opportunity, decide not to engage with them, okay? So they're going to be there. But this thing is, the more you engage with the thought, the more it grows. You are watering it basically, and it's growing and growing and growing. And the more you water it, the more it grows, like the beanstalk. Seriously, that's what it's like. So we want to stop that, really. We want to stop that thought growth. So we stop engaging. Now, this will take a while of practice, it will, and sometimes you will engage and you won't even realise that you've done it. But don't worry about that, okay? You think, oh, I engaged with that one. Comes again, don't engage with it, don't engage with it. And I would say it's going to take you a good 4 weeks with constant self-discipline practice here, to realise that you aren't engaging so much. Not only are you not engaging so much, you're not getting so many of those thoughts, and you will probably feel that you want them just as much, but you will feel slightly differently. So, this is practical advice, isn't it? And the law of attraction comes in with you actually manifesting this person, but what we are trying to do is allowing you to manifest that person, and at the moment you're not giving yourself that space to do that. So non-engagement first, and with non-engagement comes no visualization, nothing, absolutely nothing. If you really feel that you need to do something, and you don't, I must tell you this, you don't, and the story that I told about my member that did the written affirmations. So I'm going to put a link again down to Scott's video, Scott Adams' video. Now, Scott is not a follower of the law of attraction, as far as I'm aware, and he does say in his list of things why it might be that he's manifested with affirmations, just 15 a day, written it down 15 times a day. He was very on point with what he wanted, and that's what he did. Now, this may be a good way for you if you can then decide not to engage with everything else. And the reason I say that, and I'm not a huge one for affirmations, everybody knows that, I'm not. And written stuff and scripting, it's not my way, but it works. It works for a lot of people, and obviously it worked well for him. If you do opt for this way, and I think this is how it worked for my member, because we decided between us that she was just going to do this, nothing else. So the rest of her day wasn't clogged up with other stuff, with other obsessive stuff, because she had done this. So she felt good that she'd done something, and she liked the idea that she was still doing something, but she didn't want it to take over her life anymore. So if you did this and you wrote down specifically what you wanted 15 times a day, just once a day, you would be doing something. So that would keep you sort of pleased with yourself that you were still doing something, maybe give you that confidence that you were still actually doing something. But then the rest of your day would be yours, so you would be still not engaging with these thoughts, not visualizing, not scripting, not doing anything apart from that. Seriously, if you could not do that as well, that would be brilliant. But I have, going from my experience with her, I know that at the time I said, I don't know why it happened. The thing is, I do really know why it happened, and I put that video out pretty much straight after all of this had happened, and we've been talking about it. When I actually thought about it, what she was doing, she was suppressing it into her subconscious, but she had got to a point where she thought, this is my last go. After this, stuff it, I'm done. I'm getting over it. That's the point she'd got to. So I think that helped too, and that continuously saying the same thing, so saying the same wording every single time, so that vibration was exactly the same. And she enjoyed the fact that she was still doing something. She didn't feel like she'd given up completely, but she did feel like she'd lost some control, let go of some control. It was a combination of things. Now, that's when I think that affirmations work wonderfully, when you are feeling like that, because the attachment is released, and she had released some of that attachment, like I say, partly because she had decided this was it, no more after this, and I was really pleased about that. So that's why I helped her, really that's why I helped her, because I thought, well, you know, there's still going to be resistance there, and if she decides at the end of it that's that, at least she will move on, and she needs to do that. She needs to be happy. I wanted her to be happy, but look what happened, you know. And I, you know, putting it all together, that's what happened. Affirmations absolutely do work, and in no way would I ever say affirmations don't work. They do. I've used them for little health issues, which I've spoken about before, and I would, for fun now, if there was something specific that I wanted, I think I would use the Scott Adams technique just for fun, because I've spoken about it and it might be good to do it and then chat to you guys about it. So I definitely would, and I would be open to that now. So it probably happened fairly quickly, but then I've been doing this for 5 years. I was going to say 15 years then. I'd be amazing, wouldn't I, if I've been doing it for 15 years. So I've been doing it for 5 years. So if you feel like you need to do something, definitely follow that technique, because it's a short, sharp burst every single day. It's probably going to take you 2 minutes, and that's it. And it just allows you to feel like you're doing something without getting obsessive. So obsessive thoughts will continue. If you don't put a stop to it now, what will happen is they will just go on and on and on. You could be a year down the line and still be doing exactly the same. Eventually you will get to the point where you will know that you've got to stop. We all get to that point. You definitely will know that, and you will decide to move on one way or another. And then when you do that, whichever way you do it, that's when they come back every single time, because you're opening the door then, you're allowing them through. At the moment you're holding them back in some way or other. They are being held back from you. You are doing the holding back. The universe isn't holding them back from you. God, reality, nothing like that. Your inner goings on are what is holding them back from you. So key is accepting the thoughts will be there. You can't eradicate them overnight. Some people might be able to. If you could do that, then you would not have this attachment thing going on. So you probably can't do that. Acceptance has been key in my life for absolutely everything, helping me to move forward and get where I am now. It's been accepting the crappy stuff, really, and just accepting it's there, knowing that it will go. It's temporary. That's what I always tell myself. It's only temporary, and I can deal with anything when it's temporary. I really can. So that is the best way to deal with obsessive thoughts. It's difficult when you get into the law of attraction, because you get to that point where you get desperate to manifest, and you have manifested some things and you get frustrated. You think, I can manifest that stuff and I really want that stuff so much, and I want this, I really want this, yet I can't manifest it. The thing is, you actually already have manifested it. You have, it's there, it's waiting. You only need to step out of the way. And I know, God, I know how simple that sounds. Just step out of the way. Yeah, well, if I could do that, I would have done it by now. You know, I get that. But you can do it. You just have to have that desire to drop this, and then the self-discipline to go through a few weeks of probably a little bit painful, because in effect you are letting go of that relationship, and you feel like, part of you will feel like you're losing it, and you will have lost it, but you won't. You really won't, but you will feel that way, and there's nothing that I can do that will stop you feeling that way. But just remind yourself every time you feel that way. Evie said, it's not just me, is it? Anybody will say it. You know, just remind yourself every single time that this is unexplained, this is magic, it's completely unexplained, but it works every single time for everyone, providing you can step out of the way. You've created that manifestation, you've created that relationship. Also, when you do this, do make sure that after a few weeks, when you've started to feel better, and you will, believe me, you will. If you stick with it, you will feel better in every single way. It's then key to just, you know, when you're feeling in a better place, look at what you feel deep down about that relationship and then deal with that. You know, if there are any issues there, remind yourself that circumstances don't matter, and this is going to be a whole new relationship. But if there's anything that you think is going to keep cropping up, if you don't deal with it, then it will crop up again. When you do get back together, it will crop up again. So it's best to deal with everything. But, you know, dealing with it now is probably not the best way to go. The best way to go now is dealing with these obsessive thoughts, this obsession about manifesting them back. Deal with that first, and then when you feel in a calmer place, deal with any underlying issues, and then you are in the perfect place. And what will happen is, your attachment will have been released to a point, And it will still be there a little bit, probably. If you're really in love with this person, of course it will be, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean you can't manifest, because I've spoken about manifestations before when I have been attached to certain subjects, certain things, and I have still manifested. And what's happened is my attachment has been decreased to such a point, and I think I said, I said 12% in degrees of attachment. I talk about my own attachment levels with things. If I could give it a percentage, I gave it 12%. I said my attachment was at 12% and I still manifested. Because what happens is when it gets that low, you will have periods of time where they are completely gone from your head, from your being. It's a weird thing, but it's true. When you look back, when they came back to you, you will know immediately why they came back, because you will be able to pinpoint how you were feeling at that time. So you don't actually have to release completely, you just have to get it to a level that you do have periods of time when you're actually, I don't mean that you're just not thinking about them, because you can be not thinking about somebody and still have that attachment thing going on. It's a completely free of moment, and it could last 30 seconds, it could last 5 minutes, it could last half an hour. Generally, when you're just releasing attachment, you just get sort of periods of 2 minutes, 3 minutes of that pure detachment. But that doesn't matter, it can happen at that point. And as long as you've dealt with everything else, resentment and anything like that might be going on, feeling like circumstances matter, dealing with that, then you will be in the perfect place. And believe me, when it happens, you will think, I'm so glad that it didn't happen before, because I wouldn't have been right for it then, but I am right for it now. Anyway, I hope that was useful. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. If you don't know anything about me, I am a writer, really, predominantly. That is what I do. That is how I earn my money. But I also run a members area on my website. It's £5 a month, and basically there are 4 modules each week inside that members area, private members area, and you also get one-to-one support from me, coaching support, basically. It's not a full-on Skype thing. I don't do that anymore because I just don't have time. But I do support you the best I can, and we go backwards and forwards with emails until you really feel, that you're getting somewhere. And unlimited, absolutely unlimited emails with me. So that's all part of it, and that all comes with the £5 a month. And other than that, I've written a few books, and I will list those below. And thank you, and I hope to see you again.